Welcome to Summer Spotlights with Rise with Hope. I'm your host, Aisha Nixon. This is a series of conversations of women from different fields of work and business. Ladies, these are conversations that will leave you feeling encouraged, inspired, enlightened, and empowered. Every Thursday from 8 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And today I have the honor and the privilege to have Joanne Keane. Joanne Keane, she is the co-founder of Keane Eye Productions. Another amazing guest. Ladies, get comfortable because we're going to have an amazing conversation ahead of us. Joanne Keane, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Aisha. This is awesome.
Thank you for being here. You know what? Before we dive into the conversation, Joanne, can you
Yes.
tell us a little who is Joanne Keane?
Wow. Who is Joanne Keane? Great question. Great question. Well, Joanne Keane is a wife. First of all, a wife to a very loving and supportive husband who's been with me pretty much since day one, supporting my passion. He's a great father figure, and he's pretty much my right hand man. He acts as my right brain, and I always bounce ideas from him, in regards to how I should pursue my career as a designer. And like, he's just awesome. So yeah, I have a loving husband. I'm a mother to a very energetic 4-year-old boy who pretty much keeps me occupied 24/7. But I love him dearly. And, I'm just so blessed to have him in my life. Um, Another thing about myself, I'm highly creative, the obvious. It's in my blood. Both sides of my family are super creative and talented, from teachers to martial artists, singers, musicians, sewers, you name it. Anything we put our hands to, anything that serves the public, that's something we have a strength in. And I'm really happy to be a part of that. So yes, I'm super creative, and I love to experiment in the kitchen at times. I don't get to do that often, but my husband and my son are on the receiving end of things, and they really love it when I get into the kitchen and I experiment with different dishes. What else? I would have to say last would be, I like to keep fit. I like to keep fit. I love to play basketball in my spare time. I love to rollerblade or go out for a bike ride with my husband, anything to keep fit. I mean, with COVID, I've let myself go a little bit, but that's something that I like to do in my spare time. So yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing with us a bit of who you are. So now we know more of who you are, even outside of what you do. This is great. And so tell
Thank
us
you.
the fields that you are in and the change that you would like to make in this particular field. And remind us again of the name of your company, your business.
Okay, no problem. So I am the co-owner of Keen Eye Productions. It's a multimedia company. I guess I don't really have a defined title, but I guess you want to call me a multimedia specialist or creative. I'm a videographer, graphic designer, and photographer. And why this field is important to me is because I like to serve the public. I love to build relationships, and I really enjoy working with my clients, just really understanding what their goals and what their visions are, and have the ability to be able to visually interpret that into these great looking visuals that really stand out and really get the message across.
That's amazing. And so, um, the change, I guess, that you would like to make
Yes.
is in terms of what their message is, and then having like a creative visual out of that particular message.
Yes, exactly. For me, it's all about storytelling,
Mm,
and everybody's story is different.
yes.
So for me, that's super important. That's a skill that I have, to be able to, of course, get into their minds, ask the right questions, and be able to, just basically visually communicate what they're trying to say. If that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. So what I'm realizing is you don't just get right into, for example, the photo shoot or the taping of whatever it might be, but you have a conversation with your client first to be able to see what it is that they want, the vision that they have, so that you can see the direction that you need to go.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
That's great. No, that's good. And so I guess there's a lot of skills that one needs to have, especially as you
Oh boy.
have a what did you call it? Multimedia production
Multi
company, right? Tell us some of
exactly.
the skills that you need to have.
Some of the skills that you need to have to be a multimedia creative. Definitely, I think first and foremost, you have to be a problem solver. You have to be able to visually problem solve. Sometimes clients may come to me and say, "Oh, Joanne, I have this idea in mind, and I'm thinking of, showing it visually through, let's just say, a poster, for example." I have to be able to, it's not just a yes thing from me. I mean, other people, it's more, I don't even know what you want to call it, but I'm the type of person that would like to understand what the business is all about. And then at that point, give them the best direction that I know how to give. So maybe the best way to communicate their message isn't through a poster. It could be through a video. So I would come to them and say, okay, well, this is a great idea. Maybe we could do this, but why not do a 60-second promo video? Because most people gravitate towards visuals. You know what I mean? Like through videos and stuff. As you know, I mean, the world is constantly evolving, and a lot of people are on social media, and we see all types of promo videos out there. And that's what people resonate with more nowadays. So that's something that I would offer them as a solution. So you just have to be a great visual problem solver. Obviously, the obvious, you have to have the ability to use the different medias, such as, video work. You would have to know how to use a camera. With graphic design, you would have to know how to use the Adobe suite, which include like Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, those types of design programs. And of course, for video work, you would have to have the skill of, using the video camera, how to get great angles and things of that nature.
That's great. No, I like that in the sense that the skills that you have are not just like the technical skills of, as you said, the field that you're in, but
Yes.
also outside, like for example, as you said, problem solving, right? And I'm
Yes.
sure another one is probably communication, right? Is
That
another
too.
skill that is needed. And so there's many skills that one requires to be
Yes.
the multimedia productions business, right?
Exactly. Definitely.
Awesome. And so, ladies, as you heard, maybe even in your field of work, you may think, oh, it's just certain skills that I have. But as you are hearing Joanne, there's even additional skills, as she was talking about problem solving, and there's also communication, and also because she's co-owner, there's also teamwork, and collaboration and so forth. And so think of the additional skills that are needed and required that you have,
Mm-hmm.
and just be able to hone in on them, refine them, to
Yes.
improve them, to be a better version of who you are. True, Joanne?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Awesome. So, what is one, probably a challenge that you may have come across in your business as you have been evolving?
Oh, wow. I've I've come across many challenges, but the two that stand out for me would be just keeping up with social media. You've seen what's out there. I mean, we have the TikToks, we have the Facebooks, the Instagrams, oh, you name it, the Twitters. just keeping up with all the trends that's out there. I mean, before I told myself, oh no, I don't really want to be a part of that. No, that's not for me. I rather, face-to-face communication. But more and more as I, see the world evolve, I see that people are putting themselves out there. They're putting themselves online and showing the world what they are capable of doing. And that's something that I have to do as a creative. I have to put myself out there. Relationship building face to face is awesome because it is memorable. But I think just putting yourself out there for the world to see is equally as important. So for me, the challenge is to create all these accounts, first of all, and then have the time to create these videos and present myself in the most creative way possible, because that's what everybody knows me as, a creative. So there is a pressure on me to keep up with that. But sometimes what I do, I mean, it's not even just about posting. Sometimes I just tune in just to see what people are doing to inspire me. You know what I mean? Like I may see a video of a video creative create some sort of cinematic video, and I actually love the angle that they took the shot in. I would just look at that and just take down notes and say, okay, the next time I pick up my camera, let's try that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say keeping up with all the different social medias. And I would say, because I am a multimedia specialist, I look at it as a blessing because I do have these different skills. However, it's definitely challenging because I have to stay on top of my game in each area, in both graphic design, video, and photography. I have to make sure that my level of expertise is right up there. So for me, I spend a lot of time late nights, doing tutorials, watching videos. I've enrolled in online schools. So just to keep up with all of those things are definitely challenging. And yeah, time management definitely has to be on top. And I'm working on it. And, I have a loving and supporting husband. I have a great family who's willing to step in at times. If I need just, an hour or two to myself, they will, lend a hand in taking care of my son. Yeah, things of that nature. It's
That
definitely challenging, but I'm working through it.
It's awesome because, ladies, if you're listening, as Joanne is saying, there are challenges, but then also there are solutions, there are strategies, there are ways that we can use and do to be able to overcome these challenges. And
Absolutely.
so that's what Joanne is doing to, for example, when she said to be able to keep up with social media, yeah, it's a
Mhm.
challenge. It could seem huge like a mountain, but you know what? She's doing things bit by bit to be able to see, okay, how can I keep up? What do I need to do? And she talked
Yes.
about having the different accounts. She talked about looking at different postings and taking down notes, seeing how she can improve her own skills and stuff. And so, ladies, those of you who are listening, think of the challenges that you may be having in your field of work or business, and what can you do to be able to overcome it? What strategies can you use, and do it bit by bit? And she
Yeah.
even spoke about being on top of her game, right, in each of her areas of expertise and what she has to do. And it requires sacrifice, as you heard, she late nights, right, and also just being able to have the support of family, right? And so um, just realize that it's not easy to achieve, but you work at it bit by bit and you get better as you go along. And don't be hard on yourself. It does take
Yeah.
time, but we get stronger as we try to overcome the challenge.
Yes, definitely.
That's awesome. I want to know, what do you define as success? I know that you have done photo shoots, you have done logos and website designs, brand management and graphics. And so I'm sure along the way, you might have been like, yes. So what do you define as success? And has it changed from when you first started Keen Eye Productions to now?
That's a good question. What do I define as success? I think success for me would have to be just being myself. I think for the longest time, I've always tried to be, I wouldn't say that I've tried to be someone else, but I've always been in the background. I've always done my thing in the background and just, delivered work to people, and they've been super happy of, what I've delivered to them. But I've always felt like I couldn't actually be Joanne. I couldn't actually, build relationships with people. I've always been, kind of like that shy person. But over time, as I've, put myself out there, I've received coaching from my husband about how to build relationships. I'm actually starting to see that it's not that hard. I mean, we're all human beings. I mean, it's all about skill, of course, but for me, it's more about building relationships and seeing what's out there, seeing what people's stories are. And for me, that is a success for myself, because now I'm actually able to just get out there and talk to people and see how they're doing. I'm actually getting out of my shell. And for me, that is more important than the actual work that I'm delivering. So, yeah,
I
that would
love
be my
that.
success. Just
Awesome.
putting myself out there.
And so do you have in terms of what you just said, in terms of coming out of your shell, can you just
Yes.
speak to the ladies who are listening in term, because there may be other ladies who are in the same boat as you. So can you just give them a word of encouragement based on what you said in terms of coming out of your shell and just being you?
Definitely. What I would say to everyone out there that has that fear, sorry, I would say, first and foremost, be yourself. Be yourself. We're all human beings. We're all in the same boat together. We're all trying to achieve our dreams and our goals. Just be yourself, because 9 times out of 10, when you connect with someone, that individual, they more than likely have the same passion or maybe the same experience that you're going through. And sometimes it's just a matter of just voicing that. You know what I mean? And let your light shine. Just do, like, if you want to get into this field, do this because you're passionate about it. Because I feel like if you're passionate about something, it will shine through your work. People will actually see that passion and people will gravitate towards that. I think a lot of people get into the field of arts because it seems easy. Oh, I can do this for a person. I can do a video, I can do a poster and things of that nature. People will actually know whether or not if this is your true passion. So make sure you're not doing it for, I guess you want to call it a cash grab, because it will last for a while. You will be successful, but in the long haul, people will catch on and they will understand whether or not if you're truly passionate about it. So yeah, that would be my word of encouragement. Do it because you're passionate. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because you have more in common with people than you know. And just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, because you have the power to do anything you want to do.
That is an awesome message. That is so encouraging and inspiring. And so, for those of you who are listening, I hope that it has just sparked some hope in you to be able to do more and to not be afraid to be yourself. And so, Joanne, in as a co-owner of a multimedia productions business,
Yes.
tell us, what do you advise, maybe two or three pieces of advice for those who
Mhm.
are thinking, hey, I would like to get into whether it's one aspect of the media productions or all, but what would people need to do to be able to get into this field of work?
Um, that's a good question. Um, First of all, you definitely have to have the skill. You have to have the skill set to be able to, whether it be videography, photography, or graphic design, you have to have some type of skill. Not necessarily schooling. It's great if you have schooling, but if you're self taught, awesome. So have the skill, have the passion. Again, make sure you have the passion to do it, because you're definitely going to go through a lot of bumps in the road, a lot of tough times. But if you have that passion, that's actually going to drive you to push forward, to move forward, to evolve, and to grow as a professional. Um, and one more thing would be to be disciplined. Definitely be disciplined, because um, there'll be a lot of late nights where you'll have to stay up and, work on certain projects, or, just hone in on certain skills, watching tutorials and things of that nature. You definitely want to be disciplined with your just scheduling, when you're going to be doing things. And of course, for myself, I am a mother and I'm a wife. You want to make sure that you're not isolating your family, you're not pushing them aside. You have to definitely make time in your personal life. There has to be a healthy balance. Definitely has to be a healthy balance, because if your life isn't healthy in one area, it's definitely going to trickle into your business. Definitely. You won't be able to concentrate. So definitely stay disciplined in how you time things and how you schedule your meetings and appointments and things of that nature.
Great advice. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You know what? I
Welcome.
was reading an article
Yeah,
about you and your husband in regards to the business. And one of your, actually, no, it wasn't your article. I think it was your website. And it said,
yeah.
art is expressive, but design should be functional. Something that you said. And so, can you explain what does that mean?
Art is expressive, but design is functional. That was a quote I thought of years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and it's definitely stuck to me to this very day. Um, when it comes to art, art is expressive, right? Art is very subjective. So what may look good in one person's eyes may not look good in another person's view, right? So you just want to make sure, you want to ensure that when you're designing something, you want to make sure that it's functional. You want to make sure that it speaks to the person's brand, or it speaks to what your client is trying to communicate to the world. As a graphic designer, sometimes I kind of just go off on my own whim and just design things that look awesome. It looks awesome, no shadow of a doubt. But when the client sees it, it's like, wait a minute, Joanne, this doesn't really speak to my brand. It looks great, but it's not really communicating what I'm trying to say. So basically, that's what I mean in that quote. It's all about communicating the message of what your client wants to speak to, basically.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Awesome.
You're welcome.
Um, you know what? I read in the article. So right
Yes.
now, is your business, it's based in Toronto, like in terms of that's where the majority of your clients are?
Yes, majority of my clients are in the Toronto area, but lately I've been venturing out globally, basically. I'm working on a very huge project in the UK. It's taken up a lot of my time, but I'm super excited to be a part of it. And yeah, I can't wait till the outcome.
And
So,
that's exciting, and because that's the direction that I was going to go in terms of the question. And so, um, what propelled you to say, "Hey, you know what? I want to venture outside of Canada and go globally."
Well, the power of the internet.
Mm.
I mean, it's limitless.
Mhm.
Why just limit myself when I can, share my talents with the world? We have the internet, we have Zooms, we have telephones where we can actually speak to people. So it's great to have this mode of communication. And yeah, I just definitely want to maximize on that and get as much business as I can and build as many relationships as possible so that if I decide to take a trip over to the UK again to visit family members or maybe go to Cuba or Jamaica, I know that there's possibly someone I can connect with. So, yeah.
Awesome. And so, do you have an idea of when this project may be released so that we can be able to see it?
Look out for this amazing project out in the UK sometime the end of August.
Oh, wow. So it's
So,
soon. Awesome.
very soon, I'll definitely have some promotions on my Kenai Productions page and on all social media platforms that I'm on. I'll definitely make the world know when this is about to drop.
That's exciting. And you know what? We can keep talking on, but our time is coming to an end. So before we end, can you let the audience know how people can connect with you in relation to Keen Eye Productions?
Absolutely. So you can visit my website at www.keeneyeproductions.com. Or if you choose to go on Facebook, I'm at Kenai Productions, or Instagram, same thing, Kenai Productions. And of course, if you want to give me a call, my number is available on those platforms.
Awesome. And can you just spell Keen just so they know because just
Oh,
in
yeah,
case they misspell it. Yes.
exactly. So Keane is a play on my last name, Joanne Keane. So it's spelled KEANE Productions.com.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you so much, Joanne. I really
Thank you.
appreciate all this, um, the information that you shared with us, the advice, your vulnerability, and just talking about the challenges and what you're doing to try to overcome them. The word of encouragement that you're giving to the ladies, to myself,
You're
and
welcome.
very inspiring. Very inspiring. Thank you so much for your time, Joanne.
Oh, thank you so much, Aisha, for this opportunity. It was my first meeting, my first virtual meeting. Super nervous, but really excited. But I'm really happy to have shared this experience with you. So thank you so much for this.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And so, ladies, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And
Yes, who's your next guest next week?
next week, we are actually going to be having Dr. Donna Kimalarchuk, and she's the first Inuk cardiac surgeon. So stay tuned for another
Wow.
inspiring conversation on Summer Spotlights on the channel, my YouTube channel, Rise with Hope. So enjoy and stay tuned.
Thank
Bye.
you. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.